I've said it numerous times before, but in a lot of instances, a movie has a lot better chance of being entertaining if the producers and the people involved with it would just stay out of the agenda arena. And tonight's movie is proof of that maxim. As cinematic class is about to begin, your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, another sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and the purveyor of truth. In movies, on tonight's lesson plan is a movie called Killer Among Us. Folks, this movie starts out as a pretty interesting little cop and robber story. We have a rookie police officer who happens to land in a case involving what could be a serial killer. Now, that sounds like the making for a pretty good action, adventure, thriller type movie. But once again, the agendas in this thing get all lopsided, and as a result, the movie really suffers. We have the rookie cop, and the rookie cop is Alicia, and she is played by Yasha Jackson. Okay, she happens to stumble across this case, and with a little bit of digging, is able to convince her superiors that this might involve some more detail looking into. Well, Alicia is black, so naturally her superiors are all white, and she's looked at it. And what happens is we get the victim agenda. Alicia is just this poor police officer trying to do her job, and all these snobby white men are in her face and in her way. Wow, that really didn't even belong in this movie at all, and except for the agenda, there was no reason to put it in. The one fellow who actually helps her out is Sergeant Corbucci, and he's played by Bruce McVitie. And, he thinks that she's onto something and helps her work her way through and gets her to where she needs to be to do the investigation on this thing. They also want to put in another agenda. It's not only the black and white, it's also the female and male. They got to put in the sexual agenda. And as a result, they're leaving some big, huge gaps in the storyline. For example, one of the key characters in this is a girl named Ricky, and she is played by Imani Lewis. And Ricky has some problems. Now, they stem from home, but when we meet Ricky's mom, she looks like a pretty average, regular mom. This is not a street crack whore or anything like that. So what is it that prompts Ricky to turn against society and become this type of rebel person? See, it's never brought out because they want to show and highlight too much the conflict between the races and the conflict between the sexes. And as a result, this story really suffers. Hey, it does look good in the trailer, though. So why don't we take a look at that right now?
We just want to ask you a few questions about your daughter, Ricky.
What did she do? We have reason to be concerned about her. Is she okay? We believe she's been kidnapped. We're doing everything we can to find her.
That neighborhood, these street girls. This girl's go missing, nobody notices.
I noticed. Sir! Security footage.
Maybe you should do some digging on who that girl is, on your own.
Look out, America. She's on the case. Have a good night, hero.
You sell your body. You turn yourself into a junkie.
You could have had a life.
If I look like Ricky, if I dress like her, would you be able to tell the difference?
The tracks, the multi-tool, the gloves.
He's done this before. Guys like your guy, they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and they strike.
Wait! We're gonna save this one.
Okay, let me give you some of the particulars of this movie. Killer Among Us comes to us from Vertical Entertainment, and it was written, directed, and produced by Charles Scarfman. Charles kind of slipped up in the writing a little bit. If he had gone more with the police story and left those agendas to the poli-sci majors and the political editorial pages, I think this movie would have played an awful lot better. Our director of photography is Bernard Hunt. There's nothing overly spectacular here. He's pretty much doing yeoman duty. There was potential to have some nice shots and sequences put together, but they never eventuate. Our editor is Terry Taylor, and once again, he is also doing yeoman duty. It's a very straightforward narrative with nothing out of the ordinary that would make it seem, notable in any way, shape, or form. So we have these questions that are not developed in the plot. We have these characters who are not fully developed because we have to put the racial and the sexual agenda bias into the plot, and that just takes up way too much space. Our main antagonist in this movie is a fellow called Vince. He's played by Andrew Richardson, and I got to tell you that they've done another stereotype here. Okay, Andrew is a white male, so we get our white supremacist in here. He has a place out in the woods all by himself. He has a complete arsenal of guns and weapons, and as he's driving in his car, he's listening to a very bad impersonation of a Rush Limbaugh type talk show host on radio. So we are fostering this stereotype also of the QAnon or the white supremacist, clinging to their guns and religion, and it's kind of phony. It's just really phony. This fella is not a political type person. He's a serial killer, and he's going after prostitutes. So this. There the twain shall meet, my people, and just for the sake of putting an agenda in there, the whole thing goes a little bit. The movie turns out to be trite, is what it turns out to be, and as a result, because a good portion of this movie is thrown into the agenda arena, the final clues, which finally bring Alicia and Sergeant Corbucci to our killer for a final confrontation, are totally rushed, and they're dumped on you very quickly. It's almost as if they knew they were on a timeline and they were trying to beat the buzzer for this. And as a result, what could have been a fairly interesting movie for cops and robbers turns out to be a really a rushed and lame and agenda-filled movie that doesn't live up to its potential at all. This one, folks, just plain misses the mark. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.